Excellent. We're ready to get started. Hello and welcome to the open house tour of the new TrackSmart Time and Attendance Record Keeping Suite. I'm Helene Kopel, your TrackSmart Product Manager and one of your tour guides for today. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping notes. If you have any questions during the presentation, enter them into the chat box on the left side of your screen, and we will answer as many as possible at the end of the tour. If you have any audio issues too, please let us know through the chat window and we'll help you out. Also, we'll be emailing a link to a recording of this webinar within the next couple of days, so you'll have that available to you. Now let's get on with the show. Before I show you around the new place, let me tell you about how we got here. TrackSmart launched as a simple attendance tracking calendar in 2010, and over time it grew into the robust solution you'll see today as a result of customer feedback and suggestions. After learning that our customers also had a need for an easy employee scheduling app, we added Hello Scheduling to fit the bill, which has now become TrackSmart Scheduling. Soon after, we noticed that the time clock feature on scheduling was actually the main attraction for some of our members. So with that, Hello TimeClock was born, and now it is TrackSmart TimeClock. So we had three powerful apps living apart, and since customers like you often use more than one, we wanted to tie it all together into one package suite of easy-to-use apps. So there you have it, the TrackSmart Time and Attendance Record Keeping Suite. Along with putting everything under one TrackSmart roof, we made some other changes. There's nothing too massive, just some remodeling to keep things tidy. First, the name. The apps are now all part of the same suite and website that we simply call TrackSmart. The individual program names are now based on what they do. TrackSmart Attendance, TrackSmart Scheduling, TrackSmart TimeClock, pretty obvious. So even though the names may have changed, everything else is the same, including your pricing. Still use the apps the same way you're used to. They just look a little different. You'll log in from the home page just like before, but you'll see in the upper right corner, you can click on Administrator or Employee, depending on what you're logging into, and a menu will drop down for each to select the app you are trying to log into. So let's take a look around. First, we have TrackSmart Attendance. TrackSmart Attendance uses a central calendar to record all the absences and other employee and company events. There are many different codes for the various types of absences, such as illness, vacation, jury duty, even tardy or left early. You can also filter down your view to just view certain individuals or departments, and also filter out the types of calendar events as well. Our most popular attendance feature is employee self-service. By granting employees and supervisors permission, you can let them handle many tasks on their own. For example, employees can request time off. They can also submit weekly timesheets, update their contact and emergency contact information, and see how much time off they have used and remaining. And supervisors can take care of the approvals as well, all without the administrator needing to do a thing, freeing up your time. Another time saver is the customizable time off plans. Instead of manually keeping track of how much time off each employee earns and uses, this app does it for you. And the accruals feature, which is available with the Power Track plan, lets employees accrue over time rather than having all their time off provided at the beginning of the year in one lump sum. Enter a few details to fit your business need, and then attendance does the rest. With all the information that attendance manages for you, it's easy to stay on top of things with reports. With a few clicks, you can see a full month's time off schedule, run timesheet reports for payroll, get a transaction report for all time off earned and used. Does one department seem less productive lately? Run an absence detail report for the department. See if maybe you have an attendance issue. Tying this all together is the Employee Self-Service mobile app. Employees can connect from any smartphone or tablet. They can request time off, submit a timesheet, or update their contact information. So there's never an excuse for not calling in sick when they can use their mobile app to put in the time off request for that day. The mobile app is free and available for both iPhone and Android with a paid TrackSmart attendance account. So now I'll introduce you to your other tour guide for today, Customer Success Champion Alex Duran, who will show you around TrackSmart Scheduling.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to TrackSmart Scheduling, which reinvents how you manage your staff scheduling. Instead of struggling planning shifts manually, you can create schedules in just a few clicks. It's easy to make work schedules you can save and use again and again. The auto schedule feature can generate schedules based on an employee availability and job skills, so you're never under or overstaffed again. Like attendance, TrackSmart Scheduling has a complimentary mobile app. Your employees can use it with any smartphone or tablet to see their schedules or swap shifts from anywhere and anytime. That stops those phone calls from your employees asking, "What time do I work?" It also makes it easy to communicate shift changes. You can also view labor costs for each employee and by week when you click on the Labor Cost tab on the bottom of the scheduler. Having this handy at a glance view of labor costs allows you to stay within your labor cost budget and avoid dipping into your overtime bucket. You can also run a report to see total shifts and schedules for any date range to create a custom view based on your specific business needs. You can see total hours employees are scheduled, if any are scheduled for overtime, if there are any potential gaps in staffing. Now back to you, Helene.
Okay, we're ready to move on to TrackSmart TimeClock. TimeClock lets your employees use any computer or smartphone as a time clock. That means you're no longer tied to one device or one physical location. It also lets you see who's clocked in and who's not from anywhere, anytime. This is perfect for businesses with multiple locations like retail and restaurants, and for remote workers at home or at different job sites. You can also prevent them from clocking in from multiple locations if that's what your business needs as well. You can have them log in from one central terminal and set it up that way. The big advantage to TimeClock, of course, is keeping costs down. There's no expensive equipment to buy. You don't have to use and replace special ID badges. What you do get is more accurate records. TimeClock also lets you run payroll reports. You can export your records and submit to any payroll record-keeping system you use. Just input your start and end date and it reports all clocked hours for easy payroll processing. TimeClock also makes you more efficient with the mobile app. With the app for smartphones and tablets, they can clock in and out and keep track of time off when they're on the go, all without calling and interrupting you. You, Alex.
Awesome. To give this new home a more personal touch, we made sure to include lots of support with an expanded customer success team. Whether you got a question or several questions, can't figure something out, or need a little help, we're here for you. You can call a TrackSmart Customer Success Champion at 877-457-4855. You'll talk to an actual, real, live person and get help. We're not afraid to pick up the phone and talk to you, unlike a lot of those other online businesses. We also have a help center where you can search topics from a dynamic library 24/7. And then there's you. And by that, I mean the TrackSmart member community. It's a forum filled with questions and answers, ideas, suggestions, and more from one of our best resources, the folks that are using TrackSmart apps every day. We encourage you to visit the community and share what's working for you or which enhancements you'd like us to add. Now back to you, Helene.
Keep in mind, this new beginning is just a beginning. Bringing together all these apps into one TrackSmart suite makes things easier now, but we hope to keep improving and expanding as well. Our top secret lab is working on lots of exciting ideas. Eventually, you'll see the TrackSmart suite integrated into one unified experience that shares your data among all the apps. So that's going to do it for the tour. Thanks for letting us share it with you. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something. We'd like to open the floor for questions now, but if there's anything you'd like to see in TrackSmart, let us know by reaching out to the email address on your screen. And for now, you can send all your questions to us through the chat box on the left side of your screen. Also be on the lookout for emails coming through in the next couple of days with special offers just for you for being on this webinar. And if you are only using one of the apps right now, you're free to start a free trial at the other ones just by visiting TrackSmart.com and getting started. Let's see if we've got any questions. Okay. Alex, the first question is, for the accruals, does the system allow for rollover?
Yes. If you have set up your accrual plan to have rollover time, it will allow you to do so. You can even max out your bank to say that an employee cannot have or exceed a certain number of hours or days on their assigned time bank.
Next question, for scheduling, can the default profiles be set to not automatically have check marks in the email options? Well, we can't change the defaults today, but almost everything that you see on these websites were a direct result of customer feedback. So if this is a suggestion you have for us, I encourage you to put that in the member community, and the more likely or the more votes we get for it, the more people who say they need it, the more likely it is that we will prioritize it.
And also, please remember that the defaults are there just to get you up and running and started using the product. So you can always change it by clicking on preferences or just going to that particular feature or option and changing the defaults that are in there.
Scheduling. On attendance, can you assign the benefit year as anniversary for some employees and calendar year for others? You can if you use different. If you have accruals, you can have different time off plans for different employees. You must be a PowerTrack member on TrackSmart attendance. This is the TrackSmart attendance question. You can have multiple. You can have as many different types of time off plans as you want if you have the accruals feature with PowerTrack, with the PowerTrack plan.
That is correct.
Okay. Do the different sections integrate with one another? For example, does scheduling know that an employee should be there if they clock in late on time clock? It auto-prompts for a reason with attendance.
At the moment, these three products do not speak with each other, and like in our term, they don't communicate with each other. So if you have somebody scheduled to come in at 9 and you're using your time clock and they come in at 10, it won't give them notification or give you a notification that, hey, this person came in late. But the good thing about it is that is coming soon. Also, you can also use your reports to view who's clocked in and what time do they punch in and punch out.
If you have one of the higher level plans on scheduling today, there is a time clock feature so that they will work together in that aspect. As we mentioned, TrackSmart TimeClock was a spin-off of TrackSmart Scheduling. So you have that capability with the higher level plans. And if you have a question about that, you can call and speak to one of our customer success reps at 877-457-4855, or leave your question here and we'll shoot it on to them to get back to you. Leave your phone number with us. If we previously had Hello Scheduling, are the other two apps now accessible as part of our original plan? No. You are now in TrackSmart Scheduling. As we mentioned, if you have a higher level plan within there, if you are premium, I think, plus premium or higher, you actually do have a time clock feature within scheduling. So you have those two, but you will be getting special offers if you would like to add on TrackSmart attendance. We have special offers for our TrackSmart scheduling customers. So you can use that email address to ask or look for an email in the next couple of days, but you can get started today with a free trial. Does the mobile app on TimeClock show the location where the employee clocked in?
No, it doesn't. It will only show the employee has clocked in, and that is another great feature or suggestion that was introduced to us by one of our members, stating that they would like to have a GPS-like or a GPS function showing where they clocked in. And like I said, that's one of the top secret things that we're working on, but it's coming soon.
Somebody's asked us about the cost for the different apps. If you go to TrackSmart.com, you can see that on the pricing page. You click on each app name at the top left of the screen, or in the header. I can probably find that for you. Bring that back up. You'll see in here, if you click on attendance scheduling or time clock from the top, you can learn more about each app, and the pricing is within those pages. Can you block what IP address clock in and out? From what IP they can clock in and out. You can limit with a certain.
You can set up a time terminal. What's going to happen is that once you set up a certain computer or tablet as a time terminal, it will record that IP in your settings of your time clock. But please remember that employees still can log in from their computer, but you're pretty much assigning a certain computer or tablet to be a time terminal that they can log in from or clock in from. Sorry.
Yeah, and we really encourage you. I want to go back to encouraging you to go to the member community and give us these product ideas. The more people that want it, because that sounds like a popular one, the more people that want it, the higher it goes on our list of to-dos. How do I override a PTO plan that I inadvertently applied to everyone in our company? Oh, my friend, we need to call you. No, we don't?
If you want to if you want to override, meaning that you do not want this particular employee or employees to have that plan, you can always unassign the plan and recalculate. It will recalculate their balances if you chose the option to recalculate their balance back to what they had before, and of course without that plan. And from there you choose a different plan or set up a new plan.
See how easy that was. If you need help, you are free to give us a call. We, like Alex said before, we're not afraid to talk to you. You can email us at the address on your screen or give us a phone call.
We're always here to help you set up a time off plan or accrual plan. You know, it's easy for us. You know, of course it's new to you, but we'll be happy to go ahead and assist you. Just go ahead and contact us via the email address or phone number, and we'll be happy to help you set that up.
We've never had so many questions. This is exciting. Okay. Can all employees see on the calendar who is out of the office by date and hours in that day? Speaking of TrackSmart attendance, can I answer that?
For TrackSmart attendance, the employee, if the admin has provided them permission to see their calendar, they can see who's absent. they won't be able to see, of course, what's the reason of the other employee's absence and what time is that employee requested that absence, to be in effect. So it'll just say example, Helene Kopel is absent on Friday, and that's it. It'll show she's absent. For the scheduling part, the employees will only see on their tabs who's out, but it won't give them also any information why that person's out. It'll just say that
it maintains the privacy.
It maintains their privacy, of the other employee or their coworkers.
Right. So just a reminder, that is a specific permission set up. So if you, on TrackSmart Attendance, if you do not want other employees to be able to see each other's absences, you wouldn't give them that permission, but you can give them that permission if they need to see. It's a great feature to prevent somebody from putting in a time off request when they already know they can't take the same time off as somebody else. If a company has a limit of 100 employees in TrackSmart, I'm guessing that's TrackSmart Attendance we're talking about, do we gain back an employee if we remove them because they no longer work for us?
Yes.
Yep, you can have unlimited inactive employees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if this is for TrackSmart Attendance, if you reach your limit to 100 employees, and just for the example, you're saying, okay, well, this one employee does not work here anymore. Once you inactivate that employee, it will give you that employee back so you could add a new one. So now your total will be 99 instead of 100.
Right. If you inactivate them, you maintain their history. If you delete them, you're going to lose the history. So just inactivate somebody when they leave.
That is correct.
Yeah, mark their separation date in that field. And okay. If you have carryover in vacation, we're talking about TrackSmart Attendance now. If you have a carryover in vacation and you are in the current year accrual, does the lost to time function balance out by year end?
In your setup of the accrual plan, if you set up a carryover option to yes, it will go ahead and depending on your benefit year, it will, and also your max limit that you entered, it will take that into consideration. So say example, you have a benefit year for calendar year, but you're limited to 100 hours, but with the carryover, it'll go over. They'll lose that time because of the limit.
Should the employee scheduler match the absence detail report? TrackSmart Attendance. Should the dates that they're out should match. The scheduler, I believe, just shows which dates they're out rather than the number of hours. But those dates should match for the same time frame, one after the fact versus what's scheduled. You might have some that are pending.
Exactly.
They're color-coded on the scheduler report so you know whether it's a pending absence or a taken absence. If you have specific questions on your account, give us a buzz and we'll take a look with you. Okay. There are some features that we would like to see changed. Who would we speak to about this? Excellent. Go to our member community. We showed you that help screen. Okay, you can click the support or just go to TrackSmart.Zendesk.com and click the community at the top. This is where we get our product ideas from. You can also email us. We're happy to hear it. Alex will write it down.
Yes. We love hearing our members' feedback. The reason why is just like what we said before, is because of your feedback and your suggestions is why you see these great products or these programs with these features that they have right now. And it's all because of you. So if you see something that you maybe want to see in the near future or soon, or even something that you dislike, feel free to send us an email or contact us so we could go ahead and note that and send it to our development team so they could go ahead and get that on their list.
How can you print the entire calendar, for example, July, with all recorded absences? Okay, we're talking about TrackSmart attendance. How can you print the entire calendar with all recorded absences? I believe that's the calendar report.
Yes, if you can go ahead and print a calendar report by clicking on report and of course choosing the option for calendar report. Or if you want the calendar view, meaning that you want to see the whole calendar as a view, you can always click on I believe there's a print icon on the top right hand corner.
Attendance?
In attendance, or you could just click on Control P and it'll print out your screen for you.
But if you have multiples in one cell where there's too many that's not visible, then
Okay.
you're not going to be able to see that if you do a print screen.
Exactly. So
I would use the calendar report.
So your calendar report will be handy for that one.
Okay. When do you expect to be able to import a time clock from another software? We don't have that on the schedule right now. If you're looking from TrackSmart TimeClock to TrackSmart Scheduling or attendance, that is something that will likely happen. I can't give you a time frame, but it is something that we have in our plans over the course of probably within the next year, but we're trying to move a little sooner. Depends on which application you have. You might be fine using scheduling with its minimal time clock feature, and they work together.
If you're speaking also about the time clocks program to one of your other time clock programs, you can always import your files or export your files from that program onto the time clock. There is the time clock program. There is a way for you to bring in files, and then you can go ahead and manually get into those.
Or upload it.
Upload it. I'm sorry, that's what I mean. Upload it.
Okay. I want to confirm that the time clock feature can be turned off for the smartphone. I don't want employees signing in or out when they're home.
Yes. By just clicking on settings and selecting the time clock option, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there is a small little check box that all you have to do is click on it, so it could give you a check, and that will deactivate or disable any clock in or clock out features from the phone.
By the way, you couldn't see that Alex was nodding. I encouraged him to actually answer out loud. I have a 24-hour operation. Is the time clock available at all times, or are there system maintenance periods of downtime?
Time clock is available all day, 24/7. You could have employees clock in, clock out as many times as they want. It will record all their clock ins and clock out punches.
We have a 99.9% uptime. Let's see. Will the system know when accrual rates increase or change based on employees' date of hire and company?
Yes, you can always set that up when you're creating your time off plan or your accrual plan by just at the beginning it'll ask you for hire date plus. When an employer reaches that year of service or year worked, it will automatically move them into a new time off plan or accrual plan that you have set up already.
That's TrackSmart attendance for those listening in. Yep, you can set up a tiered level of accruals for your plan. Can you please change the font coloring on scheduling to black so it can be read? The color scheme change has been difficult to read. Thank you for that feedback, and it is on the schedule. I am going to try to make that happen, make it much easier to read very soon. Thank you for that feedback. Our pay period dates are the 15th and 30th. The pay period ends 6 days prior. Does your timesheet work with this schedule? Since you mentioned timesheet, I'm going to say that this is TrackSmart attendance. Alex?
Yes, and of course, just because of some labor act laws, our timesheet is always printed or shown as a work week. We have heard from other members saying that they have biweekly or in your case semi-monthly timesheets that they would like to go ahead and fill out. A solution we provide them is to, of course, have your members, have your employees save their timesheets for if your pay period ends in the middle of the week. That way, you can always print out that report and get that report for that payroll, and still allow them to enter their time for the week. So, like in your example, if your pay period ended up on a Tuesday, all the employee has to do is just hit save. You'll be able to run your reports to show accurate times for the selected dates, and then at the end of the week on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, however you have the work week set up, the employee will just submit that for the work week.
By the way, I see a hand raised in our participants. Please enter your question into the chat window as soon as possible. So is attendance and scheduling different? I think, there you go. Very different. TrackSmart attendance, the primary use of that is for tracking time off, paid time off. It does have a timesheet application so that you can also track time worked. Scheduling is about making shifts for employees when you have a lot of shift work and schedules at your place of business. So that's more about when do I work versus when do I get to take off, generally speaking.
But also the TrackSmart scheduling does have an option so you can request time off, but it doesn't have the full feature of an attendance program like TrackSmart Attendance does.
So right now there's also a question about paying. Do you have to pay differently for each? And each app has its own set of plans you can choose from, and it's your own, and you would pay for separately. How is it verified if an employee says they started work at 6 and ended work at 4? How do we know it's accurate? It seems to be on the honor system. Nobody lies. I'm not sure which application we're talking about. With TrackSmart Attendance timesheets, it is on the honor system. But we have a checkbox before they submit their timesheet for approval. They must certify that these are correct hours. So you kind of have a signature verifying that you can use for your records in the event you need to prove that the employee lied when you do have validation. For time clock, they're clocking in and out when they're working. And if you are concerned about their clocking in from outside, then you can limit your time clock. My sentence off.
You can limit your time clock by going to time clock settings, and it will give you a whole array of different options. The popular one I have here is that you don't allow them to clock in before 10 minutes before their shift starts, 10 minutes, or you would disable their the ability for them to clock in through their phone. So you'll have those I'm driving to work, but I'm clocking in type of a business or message that's going on.
I have a couple of friends on here who keep changing the color of their font in their questions. I love that. Hilarious. Okay, Hello Scheduling used to come with a time clock, but now do we have to pay extra for the time clock app? Is there a credit or refund for not having that feature available? You will maintain that feature. That time clock feature within scheduling will not go away. Time clock was really created for those people who are looking for a time clock solution, and scheduling was minimal for them. They really just needed a time clock, or they didn't need as robust a feature set of scheduling. But whatever you had before, we are not taking it away Whatever you paid before, that's not changing today. Can timesheets be imported into CSV for payroll processing?
Yes, they can. There is actually a button on the bottom right-hand corner of the timesheet detail report that you could actually print it, run the report as a PDF, and also save it on your computer, or you can run it as a CSV also. So you have those two options. You can save it to your computer as a PDF, and then fax it, email, whatever you want to, or you have the option to run it as a CSV, and then of course have that imported to your payroll company.
So yeah, you would go into reports for that. Use your timesheet report.
Timesheet detail
report. For PowerTrack TimeClock, we have a mix and match. Okay. For TimeClock, can you designate 4 locations to punch in, 4 different stores in different states, or is it 1 location or any mobile app location? We're looking at the options.
Well, let me attack the beginning part of that question. You can set up as many locations. It's up to the administrator or manager to select what locations or departments that employee can work in. As long as that employee can work into those locations, they can clock in and clock out from those locations, because they'll have the ability to select which location they're clocking in to or from.
How do you view the free trial? Oh, go to TrackSmart.com, and right from the top you can pick the application you want a free trial for and just fill in. You see on this home page, you have Get Attendance. If you, right below this, it has, or up here, oh, you can't see me pointing. Sorry, hold on a second. Right up here, pick the application you're interested in, and there's a form on each page to get your free trial. So Attendance has a 30-day trial. Scheduling and TimeClock have a 14-day trial.
But we can always extend those trials if you need more time,
That's right. If you need more time, just contact us, and we're happy to extend that. Some people need more time to evaluate or to work into this. How can an employee swap shifts on their mobile app?
When they go into, as long as that setting has been activated by the administrator, employees can always swap shift by selecting a shift, and then of course clicking on swap. You can do so by requesting that.
Do it in the mobile app?
Yeah.
Okay.
It won't be approved through the mobile app. The administrator manager will have to approve it via regular login on their computers.
On TrackSmart Attendance, holiday pay, does it only give the option for full and part-time? We have part-time employees schedule different hours per week. This inputs the same hours for all part-time employees. Is there another option? The other option would be to do it individually rather than creating the company event and giving all hours. That would be what I would recommend if you need to allow it differently. Put a holiday absence on that specific employee's calendar.
Yeah, that's correct. You can do a company event, and then of course you'll go ahead and if that employee is considered part-time, you can enter the exact part-time hours that you want to have them paid for.
Right. Right. So if you want everybody to get the same set of hours, you would use the company holiday. If you want individuals to get different, then you would use an individual employee absence. What about if I set up 15 computers as a time terminal?
Then you have 15 time terminals now,
Yeah.
plus the regular computers that they can log in from. The time terminal is based that you're allowing this computer to be used as a time terminal. They can go in and clock in from this one, so you can see exactly, okay, well, this time terminal is being now used as a clock in instead of their phones now.
Can a shift in scheduling be edited to change its parameters? I've set up a 7 to 3. Can I edit that?
Yeah, of course, you can always edit the shift. We recommend once you have done that, of course, is to republish your schedule, and also make sure you click on the option that allows the program to notify everybody who's scheduled on that week. That way, they will see their new updated schedule, of course, and of course, it saves that change.
And as a reminder, if you need any hand-holding to make these changes or set this up, call one of our customer success champions at 877-457-4855 or email us at this email address. Set something up. Let us know the best time. If you're going to email us, let us know the best time and number to reach you. If you have a prior year carryover, which tells me we're talking TrackSmart attendance, if you have a prior year carryover and you're in your current year accrual, does the loss to accrual, did we answer this question, balance out by year end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the duplicate. So yes, it does, the answer?
Yes, it does. You'll lose that time in the next benefit year.
How long will TrackSmart retain the inactive employee's history? As long as you're with us. We don't delete any history. Is there any way TrackSmart will alert the employee if they enter a duplicate time off request? I think we're talking about attendance.
Yeah.
Now, the employee can see when they are going to request a time off request, they have a list of pending time off requests or how much, what's been entered. Let me see if I can find the screen. You see they have this time off request history. They should know. But right now we don't have alerts. If you would like to see alerts on the site, please visit the community and let us know. Scheduling. Are there any plans for your system to allow employees to schedule their shifts directly from the calendar view instead of needing to do it from the Find Open Shift tab on the dashboard?
That's a great suggestion. I would say, just like before, go over to our community and enter that as a suggestion or an idea that we can, of course, follow up with our development team. So hopefully get that, coming real soon.
For accrual, do all employees need to be on one accrual, or can you choose accrual for some and not for others?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like before, the previous question, you can set up different time off plans and accrual plans for employees that do get accruals or employees that don't or that do not get accrual. But please remember that you cannot assign two time off plans or accruals to one specific time bank. So if you have a PTO plan that accrues at a certain time, but then you also have another PTO plan that you give them time for the year, you cannot assign that. You cannot assign two plans to one time bank. I would say move it over to like a time bank that's not being used, maybe a personal or sick or vacation if your company doesn't use that. That way they'll have that there, or just enter that time by making an adjustment.
You would go into their profile, there's a time off plans tab, and for that employee you would see no plan. You can actually select no accrual plan. Right?
No plan assigned.
No plan assigned is the wording. I believe the schedule used to show holidays and now it doesn't. Can this be changed? It makes it easier for scheduling to know when there's a holiday coming up. Is that on TrackSmart Scheduling?
Yeah. In TrackSmart Scheduling, there is a setting that in the settings for organ setting, it does ask you what scheduling calendar you want to look at. Is it American? I believe it says other for any other countries.
Oh, so maybe it's turned off.
It may not be. It may be defaulted as other. That's why it's not giving you any holidays, because it doesn't know what holidays are in the other countries. So try using by clicking on settings and Oregon schedule. org settings to select the one that says United States and see if that pops up for you. If not, give us a call or send us an email so we can also have that looked into.
Are there any plans to offer payroll services in the future? We do not. This is not our, not in the works right now. Of course, suggestions, you never know. But this is what we do best. What we do have is that you can export. We do plan in the future to have integrations, APIs, so that you can send your data straight to your payroll provider. But in the meantime, you can export your time clock or timesheet records to use with your payroll service. The timesheet reports for a bi-monthly pay period print in Excel. Yeah, you would export to CSV, which will open in Excel. So export when you're going through your settings, for the report, you choose your date, whatever the date range is that you need, and then export to CSV, and you'll see that open in Excel, and then you do whatever you need to do with it, print just like you would print anything else in Excel. I have set up an approved vacation day on my own profile. However, when I go to the time off request summary, I can't see anything. Is that because an administrator doesn't have a specific request?
Yeah, as an administrator, whether it be TrackSmart Attendance or TrackSmart Scheduling or Time Clock, if you submit a time off request as an administrator or a manager, you don't send a request. You literally approve your own request.
So really what that is setting up an absence without the time off request process. So if you as the administrator just entered an absence onto the calendar, it was never a time off request that got approved. If you logged into the employee self-service site for TrackSmart Attendance and submitted and then approved, you would have seen it in that time off request summary.
Exactly.
Do groups have to be set up before self-service permissions will work?
No. You know, it's just another option that we give you, so it'll make it easier for you later on when you do have a number of employees by departments or by groups that you want to go ahead and set up.
It's just a convenience. If you have many employees using the same set of permissions, we give you groups so you don't have to handpick each one every time you're setting up a new employee to go, okay, I want you to have this, I want you to have this. You can just pick the group that they belong to because everybody has the same permissions. But otherwise, you would just choose in their profile, you would just choose time off. I'm sorry, you would just choose custom and select the individual permissions in the permissions tab. We have somebody who's still not clear how to make sure that the employee is not at a work location, a remote work location. Would you do us a favor and give us a call or send us a message, and we'll talk you through it and figure out the best way for you to make sure that you can trust your employees to get the right information, that it's accurate, and okay. With telescheduling, it was bright and pretty. Okay, you know what? There's some growing pains when you change design. We recognize that, and sometimes change is hard. But we are trying to improve. We realized that when we came out of the changes, that some colors were lighter than others, made it a little more difficult to read. But we are constantly working on that. Over the next few weeks, you should see some improvements so that it's easier to read. Thank you. Sorry. Can employees view their own transaction detail report in attendance?
No.
No, they cannot. They have an absence detail report.
And an absence detail, they only have an absence detail report to pretty much show them, and also a calendar report.
Right.
That's all they have.
They won't see the individual transactions like accruals and adjustments.
Only the administrator has those rights. Not even supervisors. Only admins.
If an employee fails to clock out, will the system recognize this when it's time to clock back in? How does the administrator make forced corrections?
That's actually a two-part question. The first part is the system won't recognize that employee to clock them out, but the admin can go ahead into the settings in TimeClock and select, hey, and put when their shift is over or 10 minutes before their shift, if you're using scheduling, so it can automatically clock them out, at the end of the shift or 10 minutes after the shift or whatever time you want them to put it. I think it goes 10 at their shift, 10:30, and then 60 minutes. If you're using TimeClock, they will have to just clock out. If it doesn't, of course you'll go into manage time records, and you'll go ahead and select the employee, the date range, and also click on manage new record, and you can go ahead and populate their record and go ahead and change and edit whatever you have to do from there.
I love this question. Will there ever be an undo button with scheduling? Because sometimes they make the wrong adjustment and can't undo it.
That's actually one of our product ideas that I kind of like, because of course, just like anything, if you click on something by mistake, it was by mistake. Unfortunately, right now, once you do that, you can't get that feature back. But that is a popular one that I actually moved to the top of my list, so our development team can have that into future consideration as an improvement.
I make a lot of mistakes, a lot of undos. Can accruals be based on the number of hours worked? No, right now it's based on length of service.
Yes, accruals, an employee can only accrue weekly, monthly, or yearly.
But it's not based on the number of hours worked.
No.
But product ideas, we're always looking for them. These came through as duplicates. Why does the system allow an employee to request the same day 4 times, 5 days straight? You know what, it might be that the employee's computer locked up at that moment and they kept hitting submit, but...
Well, a lot of times with TrackSmart attendance, if on the employee self-service website, once they go ahead and submit a time off request, they'll give them a thumbs up, say, hey, your request has been sent. Sometimes the employee may not see that message and just go ahead and resubmit. But just like Helene stated earlier, they do have a way to see what time off request is pending, so they will kind of stop them from submitting the same time off request. Also, please remember that employees do get a notification email stating, hey, for this date, your time off request is pending, has been sent and is pending. Now, if I'm an employee, I receive that more than once, I would try to stop and, of course, contact my administrator or supervisor that's handling my TrackSmart account.
Okay. Somebody is saying they're logged in, the settings are correct for holidays, they do not show. We will get in touch with you after the webinar and see if we can see what's going on, and if there is a bug, we will get that fixed as soon as possible. Where are the settings button to change the country for holidays? That would go to settings.
And then org, and it'll be the first option was org settings or also org and schedule.
Can you set up a feature that will notify managers to approve pending timesheets? That is on the list.
Yeah,
on the list.
And one of the responses, of course, I received saying from members and also from our development team is the reason why there's no notification now is because just imagine if you're submitting, if you have over 100 employees or even 50 employees, you're constantly getting every week you're going to get a submission of timesheets. Those notifications may, if the supervisor or the admin do not go into the account, they can overlook those emails and forget there's a pending submission of a timesheet there for that employee. And you may get an angry employee saying, how come I didn't get paid because my time wasn't properly entered.
When everything merges, how much more will we be paying? We have no plans to increase as a suite. You will pay only for the apps that you want to use or that you want to purchase. You will still be able to, I just want scheduling, I'm just paying for scheduling, that's all you'll have to do. It won't affect you pricing. How do I edit an employee? I can see them in the directory, but when I click on the hyperlink, nothing comes up. It should be taking you to the profile screen. You can also try clicking profiles from the sub-navigation if you're having some trouble. Shoot us an email, or we can get in touch with you after the webinar. But if you shoot us a message here, then a rep will get in touch with you and walk you through that, see what's going on. Scheduling, are you aware the links to add your picture are not working? We get an oops message. We're sorry, we've got a little bug, and that should be solved within the next week. If you go to our help center, it's at TrackSmart.Zendesk.com if you want to get there directly. You'll see that it takes you to an article that is under TrackSmart Scheduling here. It'll show you how to take care of your picture. I switch someone to accrual. This will be our last question. If we didn't get to your question, or if you have others, you can reach out to us, or we'll follow up after this. If I switch someone to accruals on TrackSmart Attendance and decide later it isn't appropriate for what I need, will I be able to switch back without losing their time off details they had before I tried accrual?
If you set up an employee with an accrual plan, and then later find out, say, hey, you know, I didn't like the way it was set up. Yeah, you can go ahead and actually you can actually remove that plan and apply everything moving forward. So you could keep whatever they had before. The only thing I'm thinking about is once you remove an accrual plan and you put on a sign on the transaction detail report, it will remove any time that was earned.
Bear in mind, as you are walking through the accrual process, it gives you a report to look at that shows you a comparison before and after, so you can see the effect of your change before you finalize that process. So that's something you can look at before you officially change over to accruals. You'll have a comparison report.
Yep. That's correct. I would also suggest for all our members to always save a report or that report before they can go ahead and do any type of drastic changes. That way they can have something to go back and to see what was there before.
This is awesome. Thank you everyone again for coming to the open house, taking the tour with us, and for your amazing questions. That is it for now. If you have more questions, again, contact us at that email address or call us at 877-457-4855, and we will be following up with an email with a recording of this in case you missed anything or need some notes. And that's all for now. So happy tracking.
Thank you.